What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is me responding to your questions about nutrition. I hosted a question thing on my Instagram story saying I'm going to do a nutrition Q&A on YouTube, which is this video, so here are my replies. By the way, I sat down to record this video and I thought it was super funny that I'm eating candy. I'm eating Smarties while I record and teach you guys about nutrition. But it's my guilty pleasure, and this is literally a stick of sugar, which are carbs, and you know I track macros, so I'm tracking my Smarties as carbs in my MyFitnessPal. Obviously not the best carbs you can eat, but you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. So I'm gonna jump right into this. I'm only gonna answer questions about nutrition, so if you did ask a question in the questions thing that didn't pertain to nutrition, that is why I'm not answering it right now. I feel like I should do these themed Q&As because I think it narrows down like topics more than just doing a general Q&A. So if you're not really interested in my personal life, but you want to learn about nutrition, this is why I'm doing this. So jumping right in, Mallory Mason asked, what is the best food for staying bloat-free? Also, what is the best way to kick sugar cravings? Great question. Foods that will bloat you are gonna be foods that are high in fiber. So any kind of vegetable, also high sodium foods will also tend to bloat you because the sodium will make you retain water. Now, I don't want you to not eat vegetables because you're afraid of bloating, but if you're about to do a photo shoot or if you're about to step on stage, you definitely don't wanna eat a load of broccoli right before you go. Also, there are some people who get bloated from eating a lot of gluten, so it's just kind of like individualized per the person, but generally things that are high in fiber or high in sodium are going to be foods that bloat. So, so to stay bloat-free, you want to make sure that you flush your body with lots of water. You can eat asparagus because it's a natural diuretic. That's going to help you flush out the extra water and keep you less bloated. Most importantly though, drink a lot of water because the water will help flush out the extra fluids that are making you bloated. Also, what is the best way to kick sugar cravings? Great question. Just kidding, nuts. Don't eat Smarties. When I was competing and I had sugar cravings, my go-to thing was to create a BCAA slushie or a BCAA popsicle. Those literally saved me for so many sugar cravings because it's so sweet. You get a BCAA flavor that you love that's really sweet. They even have like freaking popsicle flavored kind out there, but I use the 1UP Nutrition kind and I love them because they're so good and there's so much variety. And I would make popsicles, you know, with those popsicle makers, or I would blend it with ice and make it into a slushie and eat it with a tiny spoon, and it would last me like an hour and my sugar craving would be gone because it's so sweet and you're not cheating on your diet, and that's usually what I would do for my sugar cravings. Or I would also make myself protein pancakes with 1UP's coconut ice cream whey protein. The sweetness of the protein really makes the pancakes like taste like a cupcake or a cake. And then I would also do protein ice cream. That was another go-to of mine to kick my sugar cravings. So there's lots of ways that you can kind of sneak around those sugar cravings and kind of satisfy those that are healthy and that won't make you lose track. So those are my 3 best ones for you. What is the best skin clearing food? Let me answer that very short and sweet. Water. Water, water, water. As soon as I drink a gallon of water a day, my skin is as clear as day. It's amazing. So drink lots of water if you guys have acne or if you have problems with, problematic skin. I used to have acne so bad, like my whole face was covered with acne. It was so bad and I would get bullied for it. Drink water. That's like the #1 thing. And also stay away from sugar and eat whole foods, like stay away from really greasy food like pizza and stuff like that. That'll definitely help. Counting macros or just eating generally healthy. Whatever works for you. I like to count macros because it keeps me on track, but I do generally eat healthy anyway, so I'm pretty much a bad example, but you do what you gotta do, whatever works for you. Some people hate tracking macros, some people like to just intuitively eat and they can do that and it works, so you just kind of have to trial and error until you find something that's sustainable and realistic for yourself. Are the fat burner pills or L-carnitine proven clinically to help you burn fat? No, supplements are not proven clinically at all. No supplement you buy is regulated by the FDA whatsoever. So supplements are kind of a thing where You try all the brands, and you find a brand that you really like. You find a brand that's high quality and clean ingredients, and one that your body responds well to, and you do your research and you take the supplements that you think are going to be great for you and your goals, and that's what I recommend you do. And I don't recommend you put all of your faith in supplements. They're a great aid to help you optimize what you're already doing for your goals, but they are not a magic pill. There's no such thing as a magic pill or a magic supplement to get you to your goals. So supplements, like I take the Make Her Lean Fat Burner from 1UP. That's the fat burner that I feel like has worked the best for me out of all the brands that I've taken. It's great for appetite control, it's great for speeding your fat loss, and it's great for lifting your mood when you're dieting. The L-Carnitine, I personally love to take it before cardio because it makes me feel like I sweat a lot more during my cardio and I just get a more thorough workout from it. But you can take it whenever like you want all day. So it's just personal to the person. Like you have to try all the supplements that you want and find what works best for you. But I use those and they've worked the best for me, and I know for a fact personally how many tests they go through and how high quality they are, which is why I'm so confident in promoting them to you guys, because I know that they're so good. I recommend you try those if you are looking for something. But no, supplements are never clinically proven. There's nothing. What is a good diet to stick to lose weight? What a general question. That is so general. It's like, that's such a beast for me to try to break down right now. But I can tell you that a diet that's well balanced in protein, carbs, and fat, frequent small meals throughout the day to keep your metabolism running. You wanna make sure that you have the right balance of macros for your body and your personal goals. So take me, for example, like when I'm trying to lose weight, I wanna make sure that I stay in a caloric deficit. But you wanna stay in a caloric deficit just barely, because no matter what, if you're in a deficit, you will lose weight. You don't wanna be in such a low deficit that you don't have enough energy to get you through your day, or that you're barely eating anything. So as long as you're in a little deficit, you have a lot of room to work with. So your body's gonna adapt to whatever you put through it. So if you're at your maintenance calories, which is the amount of calories you eat, if you eat the same amount of calories every day and you don't lose weight or you don't gain weight, that's called your maintenance calories. If you change that, you decrease your calories from that number, you're now in a caloric deficit, which means that you should be losing weight, which means that you're taking in less calories than you're actually burning, which means you're in a deficit. So making sure that you're in a deficit, a healthy deficit, making sure that you eat whole foods and making sure your foods are well balanced, making sure you eat little meals often throughout the day. Next question from Hannah Conda. That's funny. What does a typical day of eating look like for you? And for you, Hannah Conda, I'm gonna refer you to my plethora of videos on YouTube called Full Day of Eating, or What I Eat in a Day, that literally will take you through what I eat in a day, any given day. So go ahead and look at those. I will link that on the screen too, and also below. From Sammy, what are the most convenient dinners for people who work full time? This is a great question. And for you, this is your key. Preparation, meal prep. So I wanna just motivate you to take one day out of your week. If you have a full work schedule, if you're busy all the time, take one day out of your week and make it a day for meal prep. So cook things like in a crock pot, like turkey chili is one of my favorite things. Or you can cook like a grip of chicken and like some broccoli and sweet potatoes, and meal prep those into smaller containers throughout the day. Meal prep those and put them into smaller containers and keep them in your fridge, and you can live off of that for the rest of the week. And that will ensure that you have a healthy meal waiting for you when you get home for your busy day at work, that you're not gonna fall off. So preparation is really key for your success, because if you come home from work and there's no healthy food in the fridge, obviously the only option you have is to eat something that's probably less than great. So a convenient thing for you to do would be to give yourself a hand and meal prep for yourself. I like to do crock pot things if I'm really busy. So another thing you can do is like prep it the night before, throw it in a crock pot and put it on low all night and all day. And then when you come home, you have a hot meal, which is how I cook my turkey chili. You literally just prep the ingredients, throw it in there, and 8 hours later you have this amazing chili. It's so good. So maybe look into crock pot meals for you as well.